So anything that you say or write will be recorded now. Welcome to another virtual meeting, the Tuesday sessions. Today is the 19th of January of 2021, and I'm going to begin as I always do with some housekeeping items, which I hope you find useful, and then we'll open it up as well. We always do to questions. Okay, I think the most important announcement is the fact that you have a quiz today on labs 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so you need to complete the quiz today, this assessment today. Yeah, you need to complete all the assessments on time because no makeup assessments are offered. And I have to be honest with you, I've been asked by a couple of people to have makeup assessments, and I've been pretty clear that I will not make any exceptions, and I've not made any exceptions thus far. And so if you miss an assessment, you'll get a 0. No exceptions will be made. Okay, so that's that. The quiz will be available. It has been available from 5 o'clock this morning, and it'll be available until I think 10 o'clock this evening. I sent an email yesterday, an announcement, and followed by an email yesterday that gave you some details, and that included the instructions. I may stop doing that for other assessments because the instructions for the most part remain the same. And so you already have the dates, you already have the instructions more or less. And so I find that it's redundant to keep doing this. So I might not send any more reminders or the instructions because now you're familiar with how it is. The only difference will be the amount of time, which is usually written or given to you at the beginning of the exam anyway. And so I might not do that anymore. So don't depend on these reminders because one day I may not do it. And so these dates should already appear on your calendar. They should have appeared on your calendar before the course started, which is when you received all of the dates. So yes, make sure that you complete the assessment today. That's I think the most important housekeeping item for today. Over the past few days, I've been posting a few things for you that has included a document on the formal project, which I'm going to go over today. I am going to, Adrian, I know you have a question. I'm going to get to you in 1 second. I have posted a few chapters actually, and one more lab on fungi. So far, I've been lucky to find time to make these videos. You have no idea how long it takes to make these videos. But given that this is an online course, you are really supposed to read the chapters and the PowerPoint presentations that I've prepared for you on your own anyway. So if there's no video, then don't be disappointed. You still have the chapter and the PowerPoint presentations, which tells you which part of the chapters I'd like you to focus on. But I'm going to try to make them as we go along. So prokaryotes is now available. Protista is now available. Fungi is now available with everything that you need to study for them. And so there's a lot of information that is available now on Blackboard in the lecture module or the lecture shell. In the lab shell, I've made available the project report instructions, which I'm going to go over today. And I've provided you with lab 5, which is on fungi. It's a very, very short lab, by the way, this one. So you'll be, I think, pleasantly surprised from a time perspective. So I tried to make this one as easy as I possibly can. And so hopefully you'll find that. Just a warning of what's coming up very, very soon. By Thursday, 1/21, we are already in what would be the 6th week of a 12-week module or semester if we're doing this. And so that's the halfway point in this course. So we are almost halfway through this course already. I don't know if you've realized that. So that's really how it is. And it's going to even be quicker because you're going to have more exams, more quizzes, and more work due in the next few weeks. And so it's going to be a lot faster over the next couple of weeks because you're just going to be so busy reading that, the weeks are going to fly by. That's what you signed up for. And so by Thursday, I'm going to move on and cover plants. Plants are going to continue for a couple of sessions only because we do more than one chapter for plants, and then the same is true for animals. We're gonna have, I think, 3 sessions for animals. And the reason why we have more than one chapter for plants and then for animals is because we're trying to prepare you for botany and zoology, which is very likely to follow if you're a biology major in maybe a 4-year institution. You're less likely to take a mycology course or a course in Protista. So that's why we kind of deal with those superficially. But plants and animals, you're likely to take advanced courses in these. And so we emphasize those a little bit more in Bio 14. And then appropriately enough, you'll have labs on plants and animals too. I think you have 2 labs on plants, 2 labs on animals, and then we're gonna move on to do 2 ecology labs. So some important dates, these are provided to you in multiple documents already, and I've gone through these in previous videos, but just as a reminder, since you're here, you've got the quiz today, quiz 1, labs 1, 2, 3, and 4. You've got an exam coming up on 1/26. That's going to be on a few chapters. That's going to include the chapter on viruses, the chapter on prokaryotes, the chapter on Protista, and the chapter on fungi. So I think I've called them, the chapter numbers may not be exactly true in the free textbook that I provide to you, but I've called them chapter 2, 3, 4, and 5, I believe. So viruses, prokaryotes, Protista, and fungi. And by this date, by today, I've covered everything. I posted everything last night. And so well in advance of the exam, you have all the material that you need to study from. That is followed by quiz 2 on February the 2nd. And then a whole bunch of things are going to be due past that date until 2/18 when you write your final exam. So I really, really advise you to go through the class policy and the class schedule documents and write those dates in your calendars with reminders the day before to remind you that you are supposed to complete these, because I may not send reminders anymore because now the instructions are the same and the reminders are redundant. So that's what you can expect to come. So Adrian had a question while I try to prepare this document to show you. Maybe Adrian can ask his question.
Yes, hi, Professor.
Hi.
Earlier you said that the quiz time should be less than the test time, but the announcement yesterday said it's 60 minutes. So
I
additional.
decided to keep it at 60 minutes because there is a few calculations there, and I don't want to penalize students that are going to struggle with it. So you're going to find that it's going to be a little bit more relaxed. I think there is less questions, but at the same time. So you can. I know that some people finish in a half an hour, 30 minutes, 40 minutes the previous exam, and they don't really need the extra time. But if you do need the extra time, then it's there for you. Okay. But that's a good point. Thank you. Incidentally, thank you so much for sending that screenshot to me.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah, and I guess I have one more question about the quiz. Should we focus on the the quiz? I mean the labs themselves, or will we have knowledge about Protista from the textbook on this quiz?
Oh, that's a good point. Um, no, I think it would be unfair for me to go and pick something from the textbook and test you on it. That's really lecture material. Um, I think you should really focus on the lab manual. I know that it's a limited amount of work and that there's a very great chance that it's going to be a lot easier to study for these lab quizzes than it is for the tests. But that's the design of the course. So I think the focus should be on the labs because I'm testing on lab material. So I think you should focus on the lab manual rather than the textbook that I provide to you. But given even that, Adrian, as the lab and the lectures do, do complement each other. I mean, it's a lot of material that I'm teaching in parallel. And a lot of times you'll see in the lecture I say read the lab material, and in the lab I say read the lecture material. It's because they really go hand in hand, and having knowledge of the two is not a bad idea, and you have to study it anyway. So I think studying in parallel is good, but I'm not going to go and take something from the lecture component that I taught that doesn't appear in the lab and then test you on that. That's, as I've said before, I'm not trying to get you all, and negatively impact your grades. So I hope that helps, but so the quick answer is no. The long answer is that if you do know the lecture material for the lab and vice versa, it can only help you. Okay? It won't hurt you.
I see. And I have one final question about the previous test. Are we going to be
Well,
able?
that's something,
Yes.
no. That's
Yep.
something that we're going to discuss individually,
Okay.
test questions, okay? And after I turn off the video. So just hang on to that and then we'll discuss later.
Okay.
Okay? All right. So let's see here. I had one more person asking the question. So just bear with me here while I set up.